What's going on, guys? CaptainFlowers here with another House Party 5v5 shoutcast. This one is going to be the Academy League Grand Finals. This is the Baron League division, so these are players that are in gold, I believe. A couple lower plat guys sprinkled in there as well, but this is for up-and-coming players. This is for guys who want to learn the game, get used to a competitive environment when they may or may not really have that many opportunities to do so elsewhere. This is between the Boosted Animals in the blue and the Dank Desperados in the red. Now, this is game number 2 in a best-of-5. Game number 1, I actually already watched on my own. Game number 1 was just so I could kind of get a feel for these teams because I haven't really seen them throughout the regular season. Didn't really know what to expect. Game number 1 was won in spectacular fashion by the Boosted Animals. It was a really even game for about 20-25 minutes-ish. But then the Animals just got 2, 3, 4 awesome plays back-to-back-to-back. Caught the enemy AD carry out multiple times, just won fight after fight. And the game couldn't go on much longer past that. So the Boosted Animals, they're up 1-0. It is a best-of-5, so they got to win 2 more games to walk away with the victory here. And we'll have to see if they're able to do that, or if the Desperados are going to put a stop to their plans and make them play all 5 rounds. Let's go ahead and hop in here. I got to rearrange the scoreboard real quick because I don't believe everybody owns all the champions, so they aren't actually able to line up in LCS order. So I've got to adjust this a little bit myself. There we go. All right. So in the top lane, we've got the Rumble versus Lissandra matchup. Jungle is going to be Gragas versus Zac. Mid lane, Varus versus Azir. Bottom is going to be Caitlyn versus Ashe in the AD carry position. And then, of course, Braum and Janna squaring off on that support role. Ravens Man 1 in the top side, going to be playing the Rumble. SFT 2000 on that Lissandra. Game number 1, these two played Trundle for Ravens Man and Sion for SFT. Big change in how things are going to be going this time with both of them on mages. SFT going to be forced to flash away. A little bit more damage coming in. First blood already for Ravens Man 1. Level 1 first blood. SFT learns the hard way that Flame Spitter is a pretty potent level 1 ability. If you just let him stand there and hit you with it over and over and over and over again, that's going to be a hard lesson to learn for him. 2P now back into the top lane. Ravens Man does have his level 2, but he's got to be careful. His Thunderlord's procs, even if they only add a little bit at level 1, will add up eventually. Now, Logi 4444. Let's go ahead and talk about Logi for a second, as Ravens Man gets a little bit more damage than he'd like to there in the top lane. Logi 4444 played a similar champion to this last time. Last time he played Jinx, this time he's playing Ashe. How are those similar, CaptainFlowers? Well, dear viewer, they're similar because neither one of them has an escape mechanism. Both of these champions have very solid range, but they command excellent positioning, because once you get caught out, there's not, okay, I got caught out, time to pop my arcane shift and get away. No, you're dead. That's the end of the game. That's all she wrote. Once you get caught out on one of these champions, you are pretty much done for. And that happened to Logi a lot of times last game. In the jungle, in the river, under his own turret, all over the place, he was constantly dove onto by the Rek'Sai from Crimson Prince and the, what was it? It was a Kassadin from Easy Bong. And with those two champions together, he was just obliterated in every single fight. So this time around, he's going to have to be a lot more careful. Now, one good thing for him, he doesn't have a Rek'Sai and a Kassadin to dive onto him every single time. He's not under that immediate super focused pressure. The enemy top laner is a Rumble, so that's not a diving champion. Of course, he's still going to cause a lot of threat if he gets in range, but he's not something that's going to just jump right on top of you. The enemy jungler is a Gragas. He will try to jump on top of you, and he will try to isolate you from the rest of your team with your cask. But again, good positioning can do a lot to prevent that. And the enemy mid laner, Varus, is a long stretch from Kassadin. Kassadin's going to be jumping on top of you. Varus is going to be hanging back at his own distance, throwing arrows in there. So Logi should have an easier time this game. Plus, last time around, he had the Braum. His opponents had the Janna. This time, with him having the Janna, that's going to be able to protect him a lot better. I like seeing Janna picked up with these AD carries that don't exactly have escape mechanisms of their own, because Janna's one of those supports that essentially stays attached to the AD carry at the hip and makes sure they're kept alive all the time. She's always interested in the AD carry's well-being, trying to make sure that they keep themselves alive, keep themselves in a safe place, even if they can't do that for themselves, and that's what I'm looking for from Sideho Derek. Make sure that Logi doesn't end up in trouble, and if Logi does end up in trouble, make sure he gets out. So with First Blood happening so very early in this game, we're off to a very slight gold lead for the Animals once again. Ravens Man 1 with 26 CS compared to his opponent's 21. Doran's Shield versus Doran's Ring Start. Amplifying Tome with Amplifying Tome. Ravens Man going to find some decent poke on this one, but SFT returning some good damage of his own. Got to be a little bit careful about trading with Ravens Man when he's got that danger zone, though. Ravens Man able to find the kill, but he sticks around in the turret a little bit too long. SFT makes the 1-for-1. Crimson Prince with a flash forward. Logi trying to flash himself back. Winner's Bite almost going to be proc. BTF5 Spark able to find that one with the Peacemaker at the end. A little bit of damage from that. And he's down to about under half HP himself. But that top lane, this top lane is just a little bit crazy, man. I don't even know what to say about this. Because the damage from the Flame Spitter when Rumble was just in complete maximum overheat melted SFT down like the popsicle Lissandra is. But then SFT managed to get himself onto the turret far enough that Ravens Man ended up taking just one shot too many. And at least that was a saving grace for SFT. That stopped this lane from turning catastrophic for him. Because if Rumble's able to just find 2 kills for free, no real consequence, that could be real bad, real fast. And now we are going to see the Animals move on towards Dragon number 1 almost as quickly as they did last game, and their opponents recognize this. Last game, they went for this really early, and their opponents got there a little bit too late to actually make any sort of a real impact on it. This time, they're going to get there early enough to suicide their support, get their mid laner in some trouble. Abrio's trying to walk himself into the fight, make something happen. Mejalicious over the wall, looking for the jump. Gigadong's going to fall. Here comes another kill. They pick up Spark. 2 dead on the side of the Animals as the Desperados aren't willing to give this one away. Easy Bong looking to make some kind of a kill into Abrios. He'll find it. Double kill, though, for the Emperor of Shurima as Easy Bong takes him down post-mortem. 4-4. Game's going to be all tied up, but of course, the Animals did claim that ever so important first Infernal Drake last time around in game number 1. And I know I'm referencing this a lot, and you guys didn't actually get to see game number 1, but the reason I'm referencing it is because that's what we have to go off of since we're in this same series, so I can kind of compare and contrast what the teams are doing and evolving as this series goes on. Because that's one of the coolest parts, I think, about actual competitive structure in games, is the adaptations teams make from game 1 to game 2 to game 3 to whatever, that you don't get to see in a solo queue style of scenario. Yeah, you might queue up with the same guy once or twice, but you don't actually see these adaptations. SFT looking to make the play onto Ravens Man. A little bit more damage, might be able to find him. Equalizer burning him way all the way down. SFT takes down Ravens Man, but Ravens Man going to find the kill after the fact. These guys just go blow for blow for blow for blow. And again, talking about game number 1. In game number 1, when it was Scion versus Trundle, they just kept hitting each other over and over and over again. They would not stop. It was that wet noodle fight that top lane is known for. This time around, they're playing the same kind of strategy. They're playing the same play style where they will not stop fighting. But the difference is, instead of 2 big tanks that don't do a whole lot of damage, they're 2 mages that do plenty of damage. And they're going to be killing each other constantly if this continues. Kindle Gem and Null Magic Mantle picked up for Ravens Man, while his opponent has gone ahead and picked up that Catalyst. I think they changed that name to Catalyst of the Ages instead of Catalyst Protector. Catalyst of Aeons. I almost had it right. I knew it was Catalyst of A something. But 38 to 41 CS up there. 30 to 24 in the jungle. 49 to 49 in the mid lane. 56 to 58 in the 80 carry position. And of course, support doesn't count. Brom's going to farm up a couple using that Relic Shield. Whereas Janna having a coin isn't exactly going to do a lot of that herself. Game still dead freaking even, ladies and gentlemen. 13.0 to 13.2 thousand gold. Couldn't get much closer than that. Both teams are looking to make the plays. Neither one is really giving a lot of ground just yet. Logi's got to be careful, though. Firing off that enchanted crystal arrow. Spark got to be knocked up into the air. Logi exhausted. Sideho Derek's got to make sure that he keeps this 80 carry safe. Does a good job of stepping on the trap, making it so that his 80 carry doesn't get chain CC'd. Well done from Derek. Ravens Man still trying to put the damage down to SFT. SFT doing a good job of poking his opponent down, utilizing the power of the range of Lissandra's icicles as they hit minions and then fly past them to abuse Ravens Man outside of that Flame Spitter effective area. Logi up to 1-0-2 now on the Ash. Been a phenomenal showing so far. SFT looking to make some plays onto Ravens Man. Crimson Prince is here. A little bit more damage from SFT. He'll bring him down, and he's able to find it. And now Crimson Prince will surely mop up this enemy top laner. One more auto attack will do it. And the game's tied up 6-6 with a 500 gold advantage going the way of the boosted animals. And last game, when the dust was all settled and everything had ended, the jungler and 80 carry on boosted animals never died. Not once. The mid laner was something like 6-2, 7-2, something along those lines. The support was 0-0 and 14, and the top laner had 6-5 and 12 or something along like that. All kinds of great scorelines. Easy Bong going to be killed under his own turret here. Mejalicious using the diving power of that Zac. And Zac's an interesting champion to see because he opens up a lot of windows that aren't available in a game when Zac is not present. The fact that he can gank from pretty much anywhere once Elastic Slingshot is maxed out, the thing has 2,000 range, I believe, if not a little bit over. So he can gank from all these different ways, all these different angles, all these different avenues. And in doing so, it makes it so his team can set up plays based around that you otherwise might not be able to do. And especially when the enemy team has a Varus and a Caitlyn, these long-ranged carries that just want to stay at maximum distance from you and throw down poke constantly and harass your team, having this ballistic green missile of, no, we're fighting now, is exactly what the Desperados need to make sure that they don't get poked out, to make sure that they don't have to play the Boosted Animals game, and they can actually play League of Legends the way their team comp intends to play League of Legends. Proto Belt completed now on Raven's Man 1, a very effective item on this champion. Rumble's one of those champions, kind of like Kennen, one of those no-mana AP sort of melee range mages that can just utilize that item, put themselves in their effective range very, very easily. The low cooldown of 40 seconds means you can use it to trade pretty much whenever you feel like it. Easy Bong going to tank some damage from those soldiers there in the mid lane. Crimson Prince going to clear out some wards bottom side. He will be spotted out sitting in that brush, so he's going to just waddle himself away. And now, once again, the fight in the top lane. This time, it's Megalicious getting himself involved. Equalizer going to come down. Lutz Bounce shows its way in. SFT is going to be burned away before his ultimate comes up. Tragedy strikes. Frozen Tomb, if you looked up in the corner of the screen, rewind the video for a couple seconds in case you didn't. Frozen Tomb was literally a second off cooldown. If he would have been able to pop it, things would have gone a lot better. Crimson Prince looking to make the play on a side hoe. Derek knocks him back. Knocks him right into the waiting arms of Gigadong, who's able to clean up the kill. Easy Bong now going to continue to take harass from those soldiers in the mid lane. Abrio shoving him back. And the Varus versus Azir matchup is one that you actually see a lot. Varus is picked against Azir, because if you can land the piercing arrows, it's a really hard time for Azir. He has a hard life. Gigadong and BTF5 Spark. We're going to make the dive onto Logi. Ace in the hole is going to come in. Crimson Prince cleans it up with the barrel. And the TP comes in a little bit too little, a little bit too late. SFT can't quite collapse in time to find a kill into anybody. And considering he just used his TP to get to the bottom half of the map, that means Raven's Man is now going to have a decided advantage in terms of farm, tempo, and control in the top lane. Dragon Live for the second time this game. It is going to be an Ocean Drake. Getting an early Ocean Drake is always very effective, especially if you're still in the laning phase. SFT got to be careful here. Going to throw the claw backwards, jumping on top of his opponents. Here comes the dive. Here comes the potential kill. Gigadong going to get himself over the wall. Crimson Prince bound up and brought down. TP coming in as the animals are not willing to fully concede this objective just yet. Flash away from side hoe Derek as now SFT's the one who's got to be careful. Raven's Man getting himself involved here in the mix. Megalicious jumping in. Abrio's trying to find the kill into Spark, but he gets eviscerated by the power of the piercing arrow. Losing both their solo laners like that is not where you want to see this team from the Desperados. Raven's Man doing so much damage. He's able to find the killing spree before he falls. Logi 4444 still alive. A little bit more damage from the arrows. Will take his opponents down. Easy Bong manages to pop the Zac passive. Piercing arrow. Not quite able to find the kill. Piltover Peacemaker over the wall. The Zac blobs are cleaned up thanks to a well-placed ward. This game is a bloodbath, as neither team is able to maintain enough manpower in the bottom half of this river to go for the dragon and make the play that they wanted to make. 23.0 to 21.5 thousand gold. 13 kills to 10, 1 dragon to 0, still no turrets on the map. Last game, we didn't see turret number 1 get taken until about 19, 20 minutes into the match. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that again. But man, look at this Rumble. Boosted Animals top laner, Raven's Man 1, making the plays on the Rumble, 6, 4, and 2. Half of his team's kills on this guy. Doing a phenomenal job so far, getting himself involved. And it's a little bit on the fault of the Dank Desperados for not playing around the Rumble properly. You got to kind of kite him around, make sure he's not able to do what he wants to do, just walking up to your team and melting their faces off. The champion even screams something about a face melter in that skin. You've got to make sure that you don't let him do what he wants to do. And right now he's playing his game. And the Proto Belt is just that fantastic of a tool to allow Rumble to play his game. Rumble can jump in the middle of the fight, have that extra bit of explosive burst, bring down equalizers, place some flame spitters, and just start going to town. and nobody on the side of the Dank Desperados is equipped to deal with that right now. Let's go ahead and count the magic resistance items on the side of the Dank Desperados, shall we? 0, 0, 0, 0, and 0. There are no magic resistance items on the side of the Dank Desperados, and they're up against a 6-4 Rumble with Proto Belt completed. This is going to be a nightmare in the mid-game. Ravens Man has so much potential to just take control of this game. Crimson Prince over the wall. Cass going to come down. Not exactly well coordinated with the equalizer, but still coordinated enough to find the kill into SFT. 6-4 and 3 now on the Rumble. 3-1 and 2 on the Gragas. AP Bruisers, ladies and gentlemen. Evangelistus jumping up into the top half of the map. Not able to save the turret in time. Crimson Prince gets Ravens Man out. Between these two AP Bruisers on the side of the boosted animals and that complete lack of magic resistance I just mentioned for the Desperados, things are going to be so very difficult in this mid-game for the Dank Desperados to properly teamfight. They're going to have to find picks because a fair fight isn't going to go their way. Gigadong doing a good job blocking a lot of auto attacks from Logi. Enchanted Crystal Arrow going to come through. Ultimate's being used left, right, and center. Side Ho Derek going to be the first one to fall here. Exhaust onto Logi as he walks himself away. He's going to have to remember Janna fondly because she's nothing but a memory now. Piercing Arrow comes through, lands onto Abrios, and he's got to be careful. One more of those and he will fall. There it is! Easy bong with the snipe. And it looks like we do have a pause. I don't know exactly what that's from. Looks like we've got a question mark in the chat here. Question mark, question mark. Of course, the only way to reply to a question mark is with a question mark. Lagging, says MeDelicious, so hopefully that'll be fixed momentarily. I'm going to go ahead and disable the chat here real quick in case for whatever reason I would have people start to whisper me during this game. That's normally something I try to remember to do, but for some reason this time around the chat turned itself back on. Rito Spectator Client giving me those wonderful bugs and errors. Logi4444 going to be farming up under the bottom lane turret, doing whatever he can. He's doing a good job of maintaining CS. He's doing a good job of maintaining a good score line. Considering his team is noticeably behind, he's still 3-1 and 2 on the Ashe. He's still caught up in terms of farm with his opponent, who is 2-1 and 7. Easy Bong going to be ganked by MeDelicious, who's not quite able to land the knock-up on the slingshot, so Easy can walk himself away. Without the ultimate available on MeDelicious, he actually had no chance to actually find a kill there. Actually. So MeDelicious, just trying to scare him away. Just trying to buy some time on the outer turret, just trying to make it so his opponent is not going to successfully put the light onto that objective. Now Ravens Man, the man of the hour, the man with the power, has worked his way towards the Dragon Pit once again, and the boosted animals are going to continue this habit of not allowing their opponents to find a single dragon. Over the course of this series, Game 1 and now into Game 2, there have been, I believe, 6 dragons now from that one, and all 6 have gone over to the boosted animals. Dank Desperados have not been able to find a single one because of their lack of ability to control the flow of the game, because of their lack of ability to control the pacing and the tempo and anything as the game goes on. We're always seeing the boosted animals in control. Ravens Man with some poke over the wall into side Ho Derek. Not going to find a whole ton. Crimson Prince knocked up into the air, and the Prince might have found himself in a foreign kingdom. Abrios looking for some damage over the wall. Easy Bong knocked up, flashing over, keeping himself alive. MeDelicious needs a little bit more damage, and he'll find it with a stretching strike. SFT almost killed the heal, keeping him alive. MeDelicious trying to jump right back in here. Gigadong and Spark are going to find that turret in the bottom half of the map. Spark's now got to be careful. Logi's looking to hunt him down. A little bit more damage. Focus Fires found it. Gigadong walking himself away. Winter's Bite has been used, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The slows from the Janna and the Ashe, the flash forward, the tornadoes, the volleys, the kill. Gigadong bites the dust. 13-16 as the Desperados find some ability to bring themselves back into the game with kills, but their opponents answer with a turret and still maintain a 3,500 gold lead. Abrios has a 128 CS compared to his opponent's 145. Hexdrinker completed as well, means Varus is very hard to kill. Abrios gets melted away. There's that no magic resistance I was talking about. All Ravens Man has to do is walk into lane, press Q, press whatever hotkey he has assigned to that Hextech Proto Belt, and just destroy his opponent. Melt his face right off, no problem whatsoever. Now they're able to freely push down mid lane. They want to find this turret. It's a 3-turret game so far, 18.5 minutes in. Much better turret count than last time around. Again, I said last game we had 19.5 minutes on the clock before a single turret fell. This time we're going to see about 4 turrets, maybe even more by that point. And this will be the final outer turret taken down by the boosted animals. Desperado territory has now been cracked open. The boosted animals can work their way into the other half of the map, lay down some wards, potentially catch their opponents out during rotations. And when you have a fed rumble, you love fighting in the jungle. Rumble is exceptional in tight corridors, in those types of areas where you can force enemy players onto the equalizer, when you can make it so there's no way to get away from it effectively. So if they're able to set up wards in the enemy jungle, if they're able to make it so the fights happen there as their opponents are just trying to farm and stay caught up, try to not slip further behind, that's where Ravensman can really shine. That's where Ravensman can take this from a game that he's carrying to a game that he carried, past tense, because it's already over. 35.5 to 31.5 thousand gold, so about 4K lead for boosted animals over the Desperados. Of course, when you have a 0 on your team, no game is ever over until the Nexus explodes, but the Desperados got to be careful, because this game could slip further and further and further out of their reach if they continue allowing their opponents to find free picks. I would really, really like to see a Locket of the Iron Solari picked up on somebody, whether it's Mejalicious or Sideho Derek. One of those two needs to be rushing that item as soon as possible. Looks like it wouldn't be Sunfire Cape because of the fact that it's Bomby Cinder. I still always think the Sunfire Cape is Giant's Belt for whatever reason, because I'm used to the original build path from Season 1 and 2. So, Dead Man's Plate, it looks like, is going to be the item choice on Mejalicious. And I don't know exactly how I feel about that one. Because although the Varus and the Caitlyn do some damage, yeah, you're a lot more worried about the Rumble at this point. The Rumble just does so much damage with Abyssal Scepter and Proto Belt that building a big armor item like that, I don't know if it's the right call. I don't know if I can agree with that. And I don't know if I can say that it's the wrong call either, because like I said, you do have to respect the Varus, you do have to respect the Caitlyn, and of course armor is going to help you if you try to make a dive too. But I don't really see this team looking to dive right now. They're not ahead. They're playing off their back foot the entire time, so diving's not really going to be on the menu. They're going to be waiting for their opponents to make a mistake and then trying to punish that mistake. Speaking of punishing mistakes, Sideho Derek going to eat the winner's bite there, but Spark and Gigadong not going to chase him all the way down. Ravensman continuing to apply the pressure here in the mid lane. Piercing Arrow comes through, does not connect. Here comes the jump in from the Zac. Age in the hole going to be eaten by Sideho Derek to keep Abrios decently healthy as this fight looks like it's going to break out here very soon. Piercing arrows continue to fly in, and you've got to be so very careful on the side of the Dank Desperados to not let yourself get poked out by those. Look at the damage they do to Sideho Derek. He's already down to under half HP. That's not where you want to see him. More piercing arrows going to be coming through. Won't quite touch Abrios with that one. The wave clear's doing a pretty good job so far, but Abrios, man, those arrows, those are going to be a real pain if he lets those keep coming through like that. More coming in. That one's going to connect onto Logi. The turret is self-destructed. And Easy Bong is just firing these things off left, right, and center. He's never going to run out of mana. He's got the tier. Things are just not looking good for the side of the Dank Desperados. They've got to find some kind of a crazy play. We need to see Mejalicious and SFT jump in pretty much in unison on that enemy backline, kill the Varus, kill the Caitlyn instantly. Everybody else kites the Rumble around, effectively kills him while he's overheated. So many things have to go right. And I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying it's going to have to be a very well-organized effort if they want to make it so they can win these fights. Because look at the piercing arrow. After the Deathfire touch gets done ticking on him, well, he's going to pop a potion, so it's not going to be a completely honest representation of how much damage it does. But I'd say that would do like 35-40% of his health with a single piercing arrow if it's fully charged and does not connect onto any other targets first. Abrios is hurting. Rod of Ages and Abyssal Scepter completed for the Lissandra. Protobelt and Abyssal Scepter completed for the Rumble, and he's working on the Rylai's. Taking a look at the gold. He's nowhere close to actually completing the Rylai's, but once he does, that's the item that makes Rumble go from powerful to just insane. He can lock everybody down with the Equalizer, with the Flame Spitters, with all those slows. So difficult to escape before the DOTs burn you out. Boosted Animals have had this 3.5, 4K gold lead for a while now, but the thing is, they haven't been doing a lot with it. We haven't seen any crazy plays get made by them yet. I was talking how after that mid lane outer turret fell, and all the outer turrets were now down, how they could get themselves into enemy territory, utilize some wards, find some plays to make, but they haven't really been doing it. We see a few wards placed down in enemy territory, but not a lot. Not as many as you would expect for having a Rumble that's this fed at this point. Crimson Prince looking to make the play. Explosive cast going to be used, but it doesn't knock anybody right back towards them. Easy Bong taken low. Enchanted Crystal Arrow only hits Gigadong. SFT is casualty number 1. Piercing Arrow finds Logi 4444. And here comes the rest of the team, likely going to find themselves completely destroyed. Ravensman looking to mop up Sideho Derek. A good block from Mejalicious. Ravensman still finds it. Double kill using the Proto Belt. Mejalicious going to be burned away. Flubber is not going to find his way home today. A box office disaster for everybody's favorite green blob. Delicious has to walk himself away a little bit further. Ravens man tanking the turret, won't quite be brought down. What a success for the boosted animals. That's the kind of play we were looking for. That's what I was talking about, how I want to see these guys pull the trigger with the advantage they have. 21-13, now they're up almost 7,000 gold. Easy Bong and BTF5 Spark going to be looking to take down this mid lane inhibitor turret. They've already found it, and that's going to be big. Because taking that thing down eliminates the situation that a lot of teams find them in, where you've taken down everything outside of your enemy's base, and all that's left that you can do is force Baron, or you have to dive an inhibitor turret. And usually those options are pretty bad. Considering those options are no longer X or Y, you can just walk up to the inhibitor, force a fight on the open inhibitor. You don't have to play that game. That's pretty big for the boosted animal. If they take this dragon and go back and heal and say, what do we want to do next? Well, we want to take the enemy inhibitor. Let's do it. We don't have to force a fight on top of an inhibitor turret. We don't have to worry about the dive. None of that's actually a factor because we secured the turret early. Big, big play there coming out for the boosted animals. Fantastic play they made overall. Finding that ace for 0. Dank Desperados have got to be sweating at this point. They've got to be trying to figure out how do we get back into this game? What is our win condition? How do we find some sort of success? We're staring down the barrel of a 9-4-3 rumble. Rylai's Crystal Scepter now completed. Varus's piercing arrows are annihilating anybody they touch. Let's take a look at the defensive stats once more. Magic resistance on the side of... There it is! Okay, I was just about to do my magic resistance analysis once again and have to go through and read 0, 0, 0, 0. But although it's 0 on 4 different people, we do have the Aegis of the Legion on the Janna. Problem is, plus 10 magic resistance on every single ally isn't going to do a ton when Raven's Man has the amount of damage that he currently has. SFT going to be burned away pretty quickly. Frozen Tomb is available, but it isn't quite going to be able to do the trick. He doesn't even spin the tomb on himself because he knows it actually wasn't going to be able to save him. He had no allies close enough to get him away from the wrath of Raven's Man there. Raven's Man finds kill number 10. He's still almost half of his team's kills. If you want to look at this game later and say who is the MVP of game number 2, the answer is Raven's Man 1. The man's Rumble has been carrying his team, doing a phenomenal job so far, and now the rest of the boosted animals looking to force the plays here in the enemy base. Sideho Derek killed immediately. Mejalicious with a beautiful 4-man ultimate to find the kill into BTF5 Spark. Easy Bong kited himself backwards. No Zac passive today. Killing spree for the mid laner for the boosted animals. Raven's Man works his way into the fight. Logi's going to be standing on the equalizer, but he's not going to be standing for long. Raven's Man finds kill number 11. Mid lane inhibitor now under pressure. 3 dead on the side of the Desperados. Only the solo laners remain, but at 3 and 5 and 4 and 9, they're not exactly fed. They don't really have the tools to stop this push. The inhibitor falls 26 minutes in, and we're going to see the animals rotate towards top. They've got a huge minion wave on this tier 2. They might as well take it down. It's free money at this point. SFT might look to get himself involved, but this Varus is just going to say, no, you're not allowed to come in here. I've got Ghostblade. I've got Maul of Mount Mortius. If you try to step forward, I'm going to kill you. 50.8 to 41.3, 9,500 gold lead now for the boosted animals as the Dank Desperados are in their death throes. It's very, very almost impossible to come back at this point in the game. 26:40 is the clock. 10,000 gold down, 6 turrets to 1, 3 dragons to 0, 25 kills to 14. Man, it's just not the kind of a game where you're really able to make a play that brings yourself back at this point. Your opponents have to goof, and they may have goofed right here. Raven's Man and Easy Bong going to be caught out. The damage needs to come through. This pick has to be successful, but the rest of the animals have already shown up, and Mejalicious is in the ground. Abrios running himself away. Gigadong once more. Crimson Prince is here. Flash forward, body slam, explosive cast, equalizer. Everything's being used at the same time. Here comes piercing arrows. Ace in the hole comes in. Sideho Derek eats the bullet for his AD carry. Somebody had to die, and he's not going to let it be Logi. Now the boosted animals are on the enemy nexus, and this is going to be game, sports fans. 3 alive on the side of the Desperados, but they cannot stand against the might that is the boosted animals. Varus Clan's going to get him away from the power of that enchanted crystal arrow. Easy Bong, BTF5 Spark, the range of these champions. I've talked about it before. So very powerful. SFT juggled around. No way out. Abrios will be the next one to go unless they can't quite finish it. No, they can't. Double kill. Easy Bong gets it at the very, very end. Abrios falls. And right when I think the game's about to end, it will not. Mejalicious has respawned in time to scare away the rest of the animals team. Raven's Man going to chase him out. Proto Belt going to be used. Rockets plus rockets equals not quite enough to find the kill. Spectre's Cal to Mejalicious does make him tanky enough to not be killed instantly anymore. but we're still looking at an 11,000 gold game. We're still looking at twice the kill count for the boosted animals. We are still looking at one inhibitor down, one Nexus turret almost down, but not quite. Dragon's about 2 minutes away. Baron is live, and the boosted animals are feeling good here in game number 2. If they win this one, they're up 2-0, and their opponent's got to pull off the Cloud9 reverse sweep dream to walk away with the win. 1 second, just got to grab a drink of water real quick. That is the problem with solo casting sometimes, is you end up talking nonstop for 30, 40, sometimes 50 minutes if it's just one of those god-awful super long games. But you just got to take a second and grab the water. Of course, what better to do while the shoutcaster's taking a drink than take the uncontested Baron in about 5 or 6 seconds. No way their opponents could stop them. The boosted animals picked the objective up for free. Now they're rotating themselves towards the top side. You've already got the mid lane inhibitor down. No reason to push mid lane. You could put one person there. You could put Raven's Man over there if he had TP. Since he doesn't, I fully respect the decision to keep him with the rest of the team. But they're just going to push down top side. All they've got to do is force the fight on top of this inhibitor. Use the Equalizer to zone their opponents away. Equalizer makes it so nobody else can come in and help somebody that's separated by the cast. Those two ultimates together can force a 4v5 after you pick someone off very easily. Mejalicious tanking up as much as he can. Raven's Man going to be brought down to about half. Abrios is very far forward, and look at the piercing arrow. After that DFT keeps ticking, he's going to be at half HP. Piercing arrows continuing to come through as Spark, Easy Bong, Gigadong all looking to set up shop. Varus' ultimate has been whiffed. That is one major tool they won't have available to work with as Mejalicious is instantly popped. Raven's Man going to be in a lot of hurt right now, dropping the Equalizer before he dies, but Logi's found the shutdown. SFT is going to be killed, gunned down by BTF5 Spark. Logi walking himself away. Double kill for Raven's Man. Dropping that Equalizer was so very huge. Ace in the hole. Can't quite find the kill into Logi that it's looking for. Inhibitor turret number 2 likely going to fall. BTF5 Spark finding the kill into Sideho Derek. As now inhibitor number 2 is the target. 32-16 the kill score. 7 turrets to 1. 60,000 gold to 47,000. Now we're going to see the boosted animals look for the kill, look for the game, look for game number 2 and the 2-0 lead right here. Mejalicious going to be shot to pieces. Turrets destroyed, champions destroyed, hopes and dreams destroyed of tying this series up. It's going to be 2-0 boosted animals. A fantastic performance from the animals once again. 13, 5, and 4 on that top lane Rumble, doing a phenomenal job. 8, 3, and 12 on mid lane Varus, 7, 4, and 14 on the Caitlyn, 2, 2, 18 on the Braum, 4, 2, 13 on the Gragas. Every single person putting up solid, respectable numbers across those score lines. And if you look over at their opponents, you still had a really solid score from Logi 4, 4, 4, 4. 7, 4, and 3 there on the Ashe. Wasn't quite enough to be able to carry it, though. Problem was, he was up against such a fed enemy lineup. The piercing arrows would half health him. The Rumble could just insta-give him. Wasn't really a lot he could do at that point. The Desperados have their work cut out for him. I will not be casting the rest of this. Sadly, I cannot solo cast an entire best of 5. It might end it might end after 3 games. Who knows? It might go all the way to 5. But this is the one game we're going to upload. Sadly, House Party 5v5 does not have the streamers on staff necessary to stream all the Academy League games. So every time we have the grand finals like this, I like to do at least one of the matches as a solo cast, put it on YouTube just so the players have something to watch of themselves and their gameplay for getting this far. So Boosted Animals, Dank Desperados, congratulations to both of you for getting this far. Congratulations to Boosted Animals for going up 2-0 in the series. The next matches should be a lot of fun to see. If the Animals win one more, they are champions. But Desperados, like I said earlier, can still pull off the Cloud9 dream and win it all. I'm CaptainFlowers. Thank you guys for tuning into this shoutcast once again. Whether you enjoyed it or not, if you watched it, that means you've got to have some sort of an opinion. Everybody does about everything pretty much. So let me know yours. Tell me what you think in the comments section. Criticisms, critiques, questions, anything you want to say, I'm open to hear it. If you want to take part in this type of competition, House Party 5v5's Academy League is an ongoing thing. Seasons last a couple of months at longest. This one's ending right now, so if this video gets uploaded, should be uploaded tonight or tomorrow. And then if you're watching this video shortly after it was uploaded, that means that signups are probably open right now. If you want to take part in this, head over to reddit.com/r/houseparty5v5, where you can check out how to sign up for this. Again, Academy League is open to, I believe, Plat 5 is the absolute highest you can be and actually still play in it. It is a league for lower ranks to get used to playing in competitive environments. If you're a Diamond player, if you're a Master player, if you're a Challenger player, Premier League and Minor League, which are in their playoffs right now, will be opening up for their next season soon, and that's where you can get in on the big levels of competition. Once again, thank you guys for checking this out. I hope to see you around next time. You can follow me on Twitter at CaptainFlowers2 if you enjoyed the cast and you want to see whenever I'm casting live anywhere. Thank you guys so very much, and I'll catch you next time.